This basically just covers the procedure, then we'll get started. This is the May 18th, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati. I'll preside over the hearing. The case before us is case number ZH20220073. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony or evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing, unless a party has submitted evidence or testimony in the form of writing prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. Let's see, looks like we have someone trying to join us here. If there were anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll give the zoning plans examiner, Walt Mueller, an opportunity to provide any testimony that he may like. Welcome, Mr. Rice. I'm just going through our sort of procedural script here. Give me a minute and I'll check you in. In the event any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to the application, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any statements or to rebut that testimony that was offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who is not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect with the Zoom that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, let's see. Last thing to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, doing anything other than just strictly observing, then you need to be sworn in. So if that's you, if you could take yourself off mute, raise your right hand. I need everyone to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Mr. Rice, hi, welcome. Do you mind jumping off mute for a minute?
Sure.
Hi. Can I ask who you're representing today or how you're involved with the project?
With the homeowner.
Got it. All right. Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So let's go ahead then and get started. I assume either Mr. Cotton or Mr. Demko will be taking the lead here on the presentation of the applicant's project. Can you guys hear me okay?
Sorry. I thought you were asking a question to the owner. Sorry. I'll start off. We've made an application. We are doing a substantial addition to the home, removing an older addition, replacing it with addition of approximately the same size that matches the home more properly, and it integrates a garage into the basement. We're also adding a pool and a pool house to the project. Those two things have run against zoning in several categories. The pool and pool house, the property is surrounded on 3 sides by roads. So by the strict definition, it presents as 3 front yards and a side yard rather. So there's actually technically no place to put a pool based on the strictest interpretation. So that is an issue. The code SF20 limits you to 2 outbuildings. And right now there are already 2 garages that are 100 or so feet away from the house. So we're asking for a pool house, which would count as a 3rd or additional outbuilding, which runs up against the SF20 code. Additionally, the square footage requirement for that is above the 800 square foot limit. So that's the second chunk, is the pool and pool houses location, and the size of the pool houses are against SF20. The other variation or issue that we're running up against is we're extending the house. We're just extending the eave line that exists. And if we put a dormer on the side of the house that matches the existing dormer, the way the code reads, we have to use the center of the roof of the dormer as the height. And that puts us in violation by about 1.5 feet. if you measured the roof proper, we would be below, but because of that interpretation of using the dormer piece, that small dormer that we're adding, and the dormer is being added literally to just match the design of the house to make it look like it's original. It goes into a truss space. It's there purely to make it look better. But that gets us 1.5 feet out due to how the height is interpreted off of the dormer's roof rather than the main roof. So that's those are the main issues that we're dealing with. The lot is 4.2 acres. It's an SF20. So, we have a property that puts us at 20,000 square foot design for the zoning is talking about 20,000 square foot lots, and we have 182, almost 183,000 square foot lot. The lot itself, if you look at a strict reading SF20, could be subdivided in up to 9 parcels. So it could hold 9 primary structures, 18 secondary structures, and those structures could be 400 each. So the property is large enough to support a lot of building activity. The homeowner does not want to break up the property. They just want to add this. The pool house is about 400 square feet. Over half of it is just covered trellis space. There's only 2 little boxes that are 97 square feet each that make up the pool house. One has pool equipment in it and one has a changing room, but they're very modest in scale. And then the trellis makes up the other 200 square feet. So even the building itself is mostly trellis, or, and these 2 little structures. And in the location, for the client, it's the best location, and really it's the best location for the client. It makes it the best location in the neighborhood. They just wanted it private. They wanted it up close to the house, not near anyone else's house. And so we've nestled the house behind one of the long sides of the building that makes it hidden from the street as much as possible. The closest, if you were to look, the closest we are to any house, where the farthest edge of the pool house structure, pool deck area, is still 285 feet away from any other home. So it's very far away from the closest structure. And there's little bits of this property that are in hillside structure, and we were also didn't want to entertain doing any building in the little bits that were hillside, district areas to stay out of all those issues. So everything combined, the location of the pool seemed to optimize for the owner, the location and use of the pool, and also provide privacy for them, which also means privacy for all the abutting landowners by having it near the house and sort of behind the house proper on a long side. So that said, we feel it meets the intent of the code in every way. This is a low impact to all the neighbors by doing this. And the fact that this is a 4.2 acre lot being governed by a 20,000 square foot lot zoning code, those are the things that sort of, the lot is much more generous than a typical SF20 lot. And we believe because of that, it doesn't really infringe on anyone else's rights or impact anyone in a negative way off the property. In fact, we've done everything we could to have it be as least impactful to anyone as possible. I don't think anything else to say. So I mean, we've made every effort to minimize its impact, both location, scale, and everything. So we feel like that we've done the best effort to mitigate the impact of this project.
Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Demko, anything you'd like to add?
Nothing further, no.
Okay, great. Walt, anything in addition to your staff report?
No, nothing in addition to the staff report. We did work on this together for a little while and came to all these conclusions, and he did move a few things around for us as we went forward. And we think based on his comments that it is a huge lot that these exemptions are equitable for the house.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Anything else in closing or otherwise from Mr. Cotton or Mr. Demko?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with you guys on this. I think it makes sense. I think it's well designed, and just the sheer size of the lot and the orientation. This seems like a perfect example of why we have variances. So I'm going to approve this. I need to formalize that decision in sort of a written opinion. That's really what takes the longest. We're getting a lot of projects right now. I'm going to do everything I can to get this to you guys in 2 weeks. I think I can, but that's going to take just a little bit of time. Let's see. As soon as I finish that, I put it into a PDF and I email it to everyone who's in the hearing here today. So you guys will have it really just moments after it's complete. As soon as you have that, you can work with Walt. You can okay all the necessary permitting. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to myself or to Walt, or if you just want a status update on where I'm at with the decision, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to give you guys updates on that. Let's see. Any questions right now about any of that?
No.
All right, great. All right. Well, thank you all for your time and your testimony here today. I think we'll leave it at that. Good luck with the project, and hope you all have a wonderful day. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.